As soon as Sarah Hale and Hagar Haroldson left the store, Sir Ian Lightstone turned back to Amelia and Nathan. Although there was not a scratch on either one of them, he was still concerned for their safety.
"Truly, both of you are all right? Not harmed in any way?"
Amelia came over to Sir Ian and smiled.
"Worry not, Sir Ian. My brother and I are fine. Now, I'm curious. Tell me more about your conversation with my brother last night. I heard you were quite animated."
"Oh, I'm not sure what my lady is talking about. I was merely overcome with joy to be in your and your brother's presence."
"Oh, really? Is that so?"
Nathan chuckled at Sir Ian's discomfort as his sister interrogated him further. Nathan left the two of them alone for a moment and went back over to the counter, where the shopkeeper still stood in a daze. Speckles of Boris's blood had ruined his shirt, and the man kept absent-mindedly trying to brush it out with a wet rag. His eyes went wide when he saw Nathan approach him.
"Now then, shopkeeper, have you done as I've asked?"
Slowly, the shopkeeper nodded his head and produced a gift-wrapped package containing the High Mountain Snow Rose.
Yes. Here you are, good sir. Your rare snow flower has been wrapped. Please, check it if you'd like. I am at your service if you need anything else."
Nathan inspected the package and peeked inside it. The flower was indeed there. Pleased, Nathan looked up and smiled at the man. The shopkeeper's tone had changed drastically after Nathan's display of swordsmanship. He made no mention of the blood on the walls or anything else. The shopkeeper was no fool. He had realized that House Hayfield was likely just as powerful as any of the high houses in the realm, if not more so. His current overly polite demeanor reflected this change as well.
"Well, good sir, is everything to your liking?"
"Yes, shopkeeper, it is. However, I'll also require dark pine dew and sunflower seeds. Do you sell those here?"
"Yes, young master. I think I have some in the back."
"Well, please fetch me some. I want 3 of each, and also a large copper cauldron and 2 empty potion vials."
"Yes, sir, of course. I'll grab those for you now."
"And shopkeep?"
"Yes, sir."
Nathan pulled a second purse of coins from his cloak and set it on the counter beside the first one he had placed down.
"Here's for all your trouble, and the mess. I'm sorry for my demeanor earlier. I blew off the handle."
"Not at all, sire. You have nothing to worry about, but thank you. The coin is much appreciated."
As the shopkeep scurried into the back room behind the counter, Sir Ian approached Nathan and whistled appreciatively as he examined the High Mountain Snow Rose.
"Oh, so this is the item you drew swords over. I see. Such a rare flower indeed. My father even only has one that the Duke himself gave him. Wow, you both really went through all this trouble just to buy this for my sister? How spectacular. Donna's going to love this. I thank you for it."
Nathan smiled and patted Sir Ian's shoulder.
"No need to thank us yet. We've still got to get it presentable for the party tonight. Besides, it's only right that we bring your family something worthy of them."
"Well, I'll thank you anyway on behalf of my sister. Anyways, it's been a while, and now I must leave, as there is much to be done before the party tonight. Until we meet again." Sir Ian nodded at Nathan, then couldn't help but give Amelia a tender look before exiting the shop. Amelia blushed and shook her head. She soon realized that Nathan was smiling at her expression.
What? What are you looking at, little brother?" "Oh, nothing. I'm just glad you and Sir Ian are getting along so well." "What do you mean by that?" "You know what I mean." "I haven't the foggiest idea."
Nathan chuckled and left it at that. Soon after, the shopkeeper reappeared with Nathan's item, and they left to return to Ulrich at their hotel.
The door slams shut and locks click.
Nathan locked the door to his hotel room. It was early evening, and Amelia was back to picking out the perfect outfit for Sir Ian's sister's birthday celebration that night. Nathan quickly laid out all the medicinal herbs he'd just purchased, and then started a fire in the fireplace beside his bed. He didn't have much time to lose, and he had much work to do. He quickly unwrapped the rare snow rose from its packaging and held it up to examine it in the dim glow of the fire. The high mountain snow rose was a rare gift indeed, but it was far from spectacular. The Duke himself had half a dozen in his study. If Nathan really wanted to improve his sister's chances of impressing the High Lord Lightstone, he had to do something drastic. Something that would show Sir Ian's parents that close ties to Amelia and House Hayfield was worth risking the Duke's displeasure. Something that might convince them to encourage Sir Ian to marry Amelia and not cower in the face of their ruler's consequences. Nathan finished heating up the copper cauldron over the fireplace. Next, he roughly ripped the petals off the high mountain snow rose one by one and threw them in the cauldron. Next, he threw in all the dark pine dew and sunflower seeds and mixed them all together. Finally, he prayed to the heavens and used the power of Asura to transfer some of his spiritual energy into a mixture of water and wine. After the liquid obtained a dull bluish hue, Nathan smiled and dumped that into the cauldron as well. In his previous life, Nathan had been a dedicated student of the Queen of Potions, a great alchemist whose knowledge surpassed all others in the art of potions and elixirs. Over his years by her side, he'd amassed a large collection of potion recipes himself. Many of those recipes were unknown to this world, yet the natural ingredients of this land were similar to the ones from his past life. He had spent the past 2 years collecting ingredients and comparing them to the ones from his past, and he was certain he could recreate some of his more powerful potions. As Nathan worked, he recalled his past teachings from the Queen herself, how she'd classified the different powers of potions in a similar way one might classify a spiritual warrior's power. Each potion had its own ranking, and depending on the strength of the alchemist who brewed it, the effects could differ drastically. Potions had a basic form and fortified form. Of these two forms, each had a power level ranging from 1 to 9, just like the spiritual power levels. For most alchemists who walked the earth on this planet, a basic level 5 potion was probably the strongest brew they could ever hope to achieve. However, Nathan still recalled enough of his past life that he could brew a portion up to a basic level 9. Far from perfect, but far better than most alchemists in the kingdom of Calandria. Nathan watched as the mixture of his brew boiled together in the cauldron until it all turned neon green in color. Soon after that, he had no choice but to pinch his nose as a foul odor wafted up at him from the cauldron. Nathan coughed and gagged as he rushed to open up a window in the hotel bedroom.
Smells like death and onions, just as I remembered it. Looks like it worked. Just wish I had my old brewing mask from my past life.
Nathan sighed as he took in the fresh air and turned back triumphantly toward his potion. Nathan held his palm out over the fireplace and let the power of Asura build in his hands. He then shot out his spiritual energy at the fire.
Fire out! Whoosh!
The raging fire immediately disappeared, replaced only with a small curl of smoke and embers. His palms still radiated with faintly blue spiritual energy as he grabbed the 2 empty potion vials and transferred his energy into those as well. The vials began to glow as Nathan gently poured the potion brew into each of the vials, careful not to spill a drop. When both vials were full, he set the cauldron aside and grabbed the vial tops. As he closed up each vial, he transferred his spiritual energy into each of the tops one final time. This time, bright blue energy poured out of his palms, and his eyes lit up slightly, glowing for a split second.
Potion seal! Whoosh!
A gust of wind blew through the room, and finally, Nathan grinned as he held up the 2 vials of potion, satisfied with his work. Before he had a chance to do anything else, Amelia's voice boomed out from down the hotel hallway.
Nathan, are you okay? What's going on in there? It smells terrible.
Before Nathan could answer, Ulrich's voice from further down the hall boomed out.
Ugh! Heaven help us! What smells like a rat's diarrhea?
Hundreds of miles away, on a dirt road near the base of a gigantic mountain, Deputy Officer Kane galloped on his horse toward the great mountain peak. He couldn't get there fast enough. Mount Cal was easily 4 times the size of Mount Dun and was known to be the largest mountain in all of the kingdom of Calandria. Calandria City, the kingdom's capital, sprawled out just a few miles away near a raging river. Deputy Officer Kane rode as fast as he could, with one hand on the reins and one clutching a scarlet letter in a pocket of his simple gray riding hood. He had no wish to wear his Doom faction uniform while on the road, as it only attracted flatterers and enemies. Today, Officer Kane had no time for either. As the dirt road led up into a stand of trees, Officer Kane's horse suddenly stopped. Tree falling. Tree crash. A massive oak tree fell across the road and scared Officer Kane's horse so badly it threw him off. Rather than fall into the muddy ground, Kane merely leaped up into the air and landed safely to the ground, one hand on the letter and the other hand on the hilt of his sword. Suddenly, a dirty fellow dressed in rags stood up atop the fallen tree, a bow in his hands, with an arrow loosely at the ready.
Whoa there, stranger. You better watch out. Looks like you were almost crushed by that fallen tree there. My kinsman and I could help you clear it off the road, of course. That is, if you're willing to hand over your coin purse.
Officer Kane merely waited as 3 other highwaymen appeared out of the woods around him. 2 sported woodsman axes, and the last had another bow. Officer Kane sighed.
Nothing was ever as easy as it ought to be. Well, traveler, what say you? Your money or your life? You have none, then I'll gladly be taking that horse of yours, and whatever's in that pocket you're clutching, of course.
Officer Kane sighed and relaxed his shoulders as he took a defensive stance.
I'm in a real rush today, lads, so I'll be generous with you. Clear out of my way, and I'll leave you be, but bother me for a moment longer, and I swear that you'll regret it.
The lead bandit cackled, but before he could respond, Officer Kane went on.
I mean, really, who do you think I could possibly be? A horse like that is not easy to come by, so I'm either some noble with years of spiritual fighting training and a personal army at my beck and call, or I'm something far more dangerous. How do either of those possibilities entice you into robbing me?
The lead bandit merely scratched his head.
The harvests have been tough, and the taxes have been high. With all this inflation, it's not like we've got much of a choice now, do we?
Officer Kane smiled.
Well, I'll give you that. But unfortunately, you have in fact bothered me for a moment too long.
Thwack! The lead bandit drew back his bow, but before he could lose an arrow, Kane's blade had cleanly struck through his skull and the skulls of his comrades. Kane flicked the blood of the highwayman off of his blade and sheathed it quickly. He whistled to his horse and led it around the fallen log. Glancing back once, Kane gazed up at the sky and prayed.
Apologies. I would like to bury them, but I don't have much time. May the heavens watch over these poor souls, and may none of them be fathers.
With that, Kane remounted his horse and rode on toward the outline of a massive black tower hanging up on the side of the giant mountain. His destination was none other than the Doom faction headquarters for the kingdom of Calandria.